Okay, so sometimes you'll want to basically kind of navigate a nested family table and try to report its content back. And I've got an example here where, as you can see, the fully qualified expanded version in Creo is sitting out here with all this stuff. But if we pull this up, you'll see that here's our top level generic, and then we also have kind of this nested variation in. So I'm going to open up the original, and when I pull this up, we're just going to open up the generic. So NitroCell has a very cool table function for listing instances, and we have a deep option with this. So list inst deep actually will do a nested search for anything that we're looking for. And by default, it's going to take the active model and it's going to write it out to a table and kind of report some additional details about what it found. So in this case, we're going to create a table from scratch. Table create. We'll call this nest list. We'll stick this on wow tab, and I'm going to use that as my target. Now, if I run this right now, you'll notice that over here, it is looping through a lot of each of those instances, trying to figure out if there's any additional content to be scanning. So this is a really small nested family table, so it's pretty quick. So you might want to be careful about using this function with very large family tables or family tables that have a lot of nestings, because it will take a little while to kind of compile this information. So in the end, this is what we got. We got all of our instance names. They're fully qualified names. The generic name that they're associated with, and also, the specific instance name that's out there, the root name. So if we wanted to take, for example, this nested instance that's here and just open it up directly, you just copy and paste that text, and that pulls up that instance that we just requested. Um, if we pull in, let's go back up here and pull one of these, just as a comparison. That's what that one looks like. So I know they don't look that much different, but yeah, I think you get the idea. So let's take a look at pushing this a little bit further. So you can actually kind of filter with this, and we're going to filter by instance name. So in this particular case, we're looking for any instance name across the entire structure of family table instances that matches those criteria. And as you can see, we have just a few. Another option here is you could also pull in, if we didn't want to take the active model, let's say we just had it in session. So if we look, we see that we have that model in session right now. It says star.prt, any star.prt, and I'll change this to like 3, just so we have a comparison. And you'll notice that it's doing all that in memory. And when it's finished, here's the models and the addresses for what's out there. So if we click on this and say open, give it the full qualified path to what we're looking for, there it is. So you can, of course, use a table for this also. I'll just give you a quick example of that. So I'm going to insert a brand new table, item name. We'll call it screw, uh, nested.prt. We'll go ahead and create a table out of this using Control T. My table will be the name of that. And then just as a final example here, we'll use TBL my table, and we'll change this to, let's say, 4. And now we're actually pulling that request using the table as an input and then generating the results based on the query that's ran for the deep listing of instance names.